Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Paulette Jones, Chief of Communications for the Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation. Thank you for joining us at our DRC Road facility. I know that you're accustomed to coming here for snow, but we were very fortunate that we did not have any snow this past season. But we do have another weather event that we would like to talk about. On June the 1st began the rainy season. And today we have a very important initiative that we're going to talk about that will address the preparations for the rainy season. So we have our director of the Department of Public Works, Michael Johnson, who is going to share details about this rollout. But I first want to again thank you for coming here today. And although we're in a drought, and it may appear as though we don't necessarily need to talk about the rainy season, we want to be prepared. And so I'm going to ask at this time if Director Johnson can come up and talk about this initiative, the Sandbag program.
Well, thank you, Paula, and good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Johnson. I'm the director of DPWT. And as Paula mentioned, we're really glad that you're here today so we can talk about a very important initiative for the county that we are rolling out, which is part of the county executive's initiative to address residential flooding and to sort of come up with mitigating steps for that. So what we really are doing is we're providing sandbags to some of our more vulnerable communities. Now, within Prince George's County, we have several communities incorporated and unincorporated. And by incorporated, I mean those that are cities or are chartered cities or towns. And the unincorporated are, of course, the others that are not. And many of those low-lying areas are within 100-year floodplains or FEMA floodplains. And they suffer annual repetitive loss whenever it rains. It doesn't take much for them to have some impact. So one of this large initiative that we are initiating here allows us to provide sandbag protection to homes that are in these vulnerable corridors. And the department is been working really hard for the past almost a month, several weeks, but almost a month, in sort of putting together more than 600 tons of sand, which will be distributed to our constituent municipalities and residents who are also in unincorporated areas. Those 600 tons turned into about 25,000 sandbags, and we've had a very robust redistribution effort that's been led by our two offices, Office of Storm Drain Maintenance and our Office of Highway Maintenance. And they have been working assiduously to sort of get ready for the preparation for the rainy season. Now, we did the distribution to the municipal governments, and they will be responsible for having their residents contact them to receive those bags. But for those residents who live in the unincorporated portions of the county, we have collection beginning this Saturday, and the hours will be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And there are three key locations. We have three large maintenance yards, one in the northern part of the county, that's at Ammondale, and the address of that is 11900 Montgomery Road in Beltsville. There's this facility, which is our main facility, Darcy Road, which is 8401 Darcy Road in Forestville. And in the southern part of the county, if you live there, at 12911 Cherry Tree Crossing Road in Brandywine. So we have bags staged there, and residents who would go to their closest maintenance yard and collect 4 bags. We're giving 4 bags to residents, and that will help a lot with mitigating the effects of flooding that occurs whenever it rains. Now, as Paul had mentioned, we are in a bit of a dry spell, but don't let that fool you. It won't take much rain or one good rainstorm. In fact, that actually makes it worse because the ground becomes more resistant to absorbing. So whenever it rains, you probably will have more flooding than if it were a moister, kind of like a ground that could absorb the water. So this initiative will allow our residents to sort of take proactive steps. In our department, we are focused on using data, on being proactive in sort of addressing issues that we face. And this is part and parcel of that. So that's the basic guts of the program. But I'd like to acknowledge some of the staff who really worked hard. And, if you could sort of just come forward so they can see you. So Joanna Smith, and now Joanna is our latest addition to the management of the department. She's the Associate Director of the Office of Storm Drain Maintenance. And Joanna sort of has done a fantastic job, along with the other gentleman I'll introduce you to in a moment, in sort of getting this program going. And this was a very challenging program. You sort of see the work behind us. They made it look easy, but this was a really hard project for them. And Bryce, could you come up, please? And Bryce is also a fairly new addition to the department. He's the Associate Director of the Office of Highway Maintenance, which is our largest group. But these two groups worked seamlessly to make this project a great success. So, I'd like to sort of acknowledge them for the excellent job they've done. So they will be sort of overseeing the distribution to residents this Saturday. I think Joanna will be at Emmondale, and Bryce, you'll be here. You'll be here at Darcy Road. And so, if you see them, say hello, right? They're very friendly, right? Personal people. And I think this is a wonderful initiative, and we look forward to, doing some more things like this. But just to give some stats, as I mentioned, we had 14 municipal governments that picked up bags so far. And some additional governments will be coming to collect bags through next week. We'll be distributing, as I mentioned, 600 tons of sand. And we're providing protection to a little over 6,000 homes. So that's 6,146 is the exact number of homes that are at risk. These homes will now have a means to sort of protect areas where water could enter into basements and through windows and things of that nature. So all in all, this is just what DPWT does, and we are a service-oriented group. We're servant leaders in a sense, right? And this is the kind of work we do. We're here to sort of serve our residents, and I'll stop at this time and answer any questions that anyone may have about our program.
Just one quick question. What parts of the county are you most concerned about in terms of flooding?
Well, flooding is not in one part of the county. We have, the floodplains are like in the southwestern part of the county. We have a large floodplain there. We also have flooding along the northern portion or the western portions of the county. So, we could provide a map that sort of shows the flood areas. And one of the reasons why the county, if you look at the nature of the soils in the county, we have a lot of mica in the soils. And what that does is that it makes the soil very impervious. That means it can't really easily absorb water. So Prince George County's natural soil strata leads to flooding. So when you add development to that, which Prince George County has developed over the years, it sort of contributes to areas that, periodically flood. So one of the initiatives that we work on, we're working with our sister agency, Department of the Environment, who really has the main lead on that, is to find ways to alleviate this condition that exists naturally within Prince George's County. So we're concerned throughout the entire county, really.
I know you mentioned each family can get 4 sandbags. Is 4 enough?
4 gives you some protections to windows. A lot of the water will enter through windows, basement windows, or doors, under doors. So it does give you some protection to prevent that water from getting into the structure itself. It's not meant to be like a wall or anything of that nature, but it's to provide impedance to the water entering points of entry into your lower-lying points, your basements or kitchens or things of that nature.
Do people just show up and pick up their sandbags if they want them?
They show up. We have a requirement that they show some proof of living in Prince George's County, but they would come to the yard and just pick up their 4 bags, and then they're ready for when the rains begin.
Have you received a lot of complaints from people about flooding in the past and those sorts of things?
We have. I mean, that's in the 311 system, which is the county system that we use to collect, portal. We collect resident complaints. We do receive a lot of complaints about flooding, and the county for a long period of time, probably decades, has sort of tracked flooding extensively, and it's something that they've worked on and tried to finance ways to, mitigate. And any other questions from anyone? So what we could do at this point, I mean, we could do a demo of how the machine works, what it takes to fill the bags. This is a high volume production unit. It takes like 4 crew guys to sort of operate it. It's a little noisy, so bear with us. But so Joanna, would you like to sort of, and Bryce, would you like to tee that off? The rate of filling is very quick, right? And this gives us an ability to also produce more bags if and when needed. Okay, thank you guys. So